Flexbox Layout Editor. That's the name of this program. I tried to implement the minimum functionality the editor must have. The idea is to place HTML div elements inside the Flexbox container and have the ability to change Flexbox CSS properties as well as div element size and color. Now, after reloading the page in the browser, all Flexbox CSS properties are set to default. Let's add a single div element. Changes that justify content and align items to the center value. The element is placed exactly in the middle. Align items flex end will place it at the bottom of the Flexbox cross-axis. Setting the flex direction to columns will swap the main and cross-axis. You can add more elements. Select an element. Change its width, height, and color. Delete the current element. Delete all elements inside Flexbox. That's what this program can do. Now to what this program is. All is done within one HTML file without splitting it into three files: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's a standard HTML template. I will start from here and try to explain how it all works without going into too much detail. Inside the div wrapper element are for children. The wrapper element has a grid layout. If you open the Developer Tools panel, in the Inspector tab, you can turn the grid on and off. These are four grid areas. The header. Inside the header are all controls and all information displayed. Relatively a lot of inline styling was implemented. The horizontal axis, the vertical axis, and the Flexbox container. The style element. The wrapper takes the whole viewport. Have a grid layout, I just showed you. The header element is placed by the CSS grid area property, also have a grid layout. All input elements, sliders and buttons will be placed within this grid. Margin for minimal design to be present. Style for horizontal and vertical axis. Just in case, for the vertical axis, there is a writing mode property set to vertical RL to display text vertically. The Flexbox container has a display value flex and nothing more. This means all flex properties are set to default in the beginning. Lastly, a white border for the pseudo class hover and selected element. The script element. Global variables sections. Colors array holds some colors to assign as background color property for the created element. The current element variable will hold the currently selected element or undefined if no element is selected. This program has event-based logic. That means it does nothing but wait for the user to fire some event, then process this event and wait again for the next event. Instead of linking the event listeners to every input element, the event listener is added to the parent elements. Events are bubbling up to the parent element, and they are caught there. That's why I have only 3 event listeners. Click on the Add Element button will fire a click event on the header element because the button is the child of the header element. The button doesn't have event listeners, and the event bubbles up to the parent. If an event was fired by an element with a property type equal to a button, we call the button's handle function, passing event object as an argument. The button handler has a switch statement to perform needed operations, depending on the ID attribute of the element which fired the event. Similar logic is implemented for input events on the header element to handle all input range and select elements. The click event on Flexbox handles the selection, size and color modification for the current div element. Now I open everything and slowly scroll the whole HTML. That's all for now. Have a nice one.